Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Ashley. I'm a makeup enthusiast, not a makeup artist, so please don't get it twisted. Today's video is gonna be me discussing products that I purchased over the last like 6-7 months, not within the last month, so it's gonna be probably about 7 or 8 months ago. Because I feel like sometimes our thoughts change on things, and we love something one minute, and as you continue to use it, your thoughts change. So grab a snack, get a drink. What are you doing? Drop it in the comment section. I've got my coffee and a straw, and let's just hop right into today's video. So please excuse my children if you can hear them. The toys that you might hear, the yelling, they just want to be involved. They just want to be in here like swimwear. You better stop it. Okay, so the angle has changed a little bit. I also picked up a blanket because it's really cold. It's early here in the morning, but I figured why not film while I can. Okay, so first thing, my angle's a little different because I want to pop up some pictures. So first thing is this Viseart palette. As you can see, I'm not showing it here in person, and the reason is because when we moved, I was like, I can't bring on my makeup. I have so many purples. I don't really need this palette, and I have a ton of the like the two shifty shades, the like blue one and the purple one. I was like, I have shades like that. However, I can't stop thinking about this Viseart palette because I loved it so much. That was my first introduction into Viseart, and since then I have now picked up another palette and one of their like little mini ones with 8 shades in it, and then I went ahead and I repurchased this one because I loved it so much. Viseart is such a slept-on brand. They're not really hyped up. I feel like it's because their quality is so weird. So like when I swatched this Violette, I can't pronounce it anyway. When I swatched this palette, I was like, oh, the swatches are horrible. When I put it on my eyes, it was so tremendously beautiful. I just can't describe like the shadow quality, but it's incredible shadow quality. Okay, the next thing is this L'Oreal Serum foundation. I loved it at first, and the more that I wore it, I felt like it just stripped my skin, and it may be because it had hyaluronic acid in it. So if you have no moisture, it's gonna take moisture from somewhere, and I felt like it kept taking it from my skin. So although it wore beautifully, it was a beautiful foundation. I loved it. It was very comparable to the Ilia one that I loved, just less dewy, because it had to dry down. I couldn't, I had to declutter it. I passed it along to a friend because I was like, there's no stinking way that I can use this. It looked beautiful while it was on, but I couldn't use it because I was like, what the heck? It dries out my skin. It makes my skin feel so tight and just uncomfortable. I couldn't wear it for longer than like 15 minutes without wanting to just like cleanse my face and start over. Also, I'm sorry I come on here with no makeup, gonna discuss my makeup, but I'm just not feeling it today. Anyway, so next palette, keeping with eyeshadow, is the It's Freaking Bats palette. So when this came out, it came out last year around Halloween time, and it came out the perfect timing because it's like this beautiful grunge palette and everything. However, it took like 8 months to get to me, and by the time that it came, I just the excitement and all of it had just kind of worn off. However, I did pull out my favorite shades from that palette and then passed along the rest of the shades to Traffic and children. When we did move, I pulled out my favorite shades and I passed along the rest of the shades to my friend who is loving and getting more use out of those shades than I am. Now this next one is gonna, please, if I talk about something or I don't like something that you love, by all means, that's my preference. You continue to love on your makeup. Next is the Patrick Ta bronzers / blush. I picked up the light shade and then I picked up the medium shade. And I loved the formulation of these bronzers. The powder and the cream, I love them. But I did not like the shade range. I just felt like the light was a little too cool toned. The medium was a little too orange. It just didn't look okay. It didn't look right on my skin. I love the product. I thought the powder was beautiful. It was lightweight. It was buildable. It just blended seamlessly. It looked natural. The cream looked natural. I felt like the cream blended beautifully. The powders were seamless. They were so natural looking. The only problem I had was the shade range. My problem with the blush wasn't that it was beautiful. It's the same as the bronzer. I felt like I had to pack on so much of the cream product to get any color payoff. The powder was stunning, so beautiful, lightweight, buildable. It just blended seamlessly. Beautiful product. Loved it so much. Just didn't like the cream, and I felt like I'm only using half of this product and the other half is going to go bad. So I passed it along to a friend when we moved. That's about it. Thank you. Wow. Okay, now let's get back into the products that I do have on hand right here in front of me. If you could only see my makeup desk, where do we start? Okay. So let's start with foundations. So I really, truly still love this Guerlain High Perfection 24-hour wear. It is such a beautiful formulation. It is one of my favorites. I love it so much that the wording is starting to come off. It is a matte foundation, but it does not dry out my already dry skin. I like something that is like light to medium based. I prefer more of like a natural my skin but better look, and this definitely gives me that. It's not too heavy, it's not too full coverage. It's a pretty penny. It's $60 and you can only pick it up on Selfridges, but to me it's worth it. I had to go give them a lollipop. So now that I'm back in my blankie, where were we? Okay, moving right along. So I have two Shantikai foundations. I have the Future Skin foundation and I have the Future Skin Cushion foundation. So, I love the Future Skin foundation in the pot. It's beautiful. It goes on nice. However, I feel like it has like a lotion feel to it. It's not bad. It does go away once you blend it out, but I just feel like initially before it sets, it just has this like thick foundation feel. Well, not foundation, but like a thick moisturizer lotion feel. This is basically that in compact form. It has lighter coverage than this does, but it doesn't have that feeling. Goes on beautiful. It is one of my favorite foundations. You can get it for $128. It comes with the already in there compact and then an additional compact. I've already went through one of these little foundation pods. This is the second one that came in there, and I will continue to repurchase because it is such a beautiful, stunning formula. This one, my feelings have not changed. I still do love it. I just feel and have noticed that it has more of a heavy lotion feel on the face. But other than that, I love them. Beautiful. Two of my favorite foundations, and I definitely recommend it. If you have the $128, please get that. And you have pretty decent skin, get that Shantikai one. And it feeds a baby elephant. I mean, can't go wrong. Primer, because I guess I forgot that I had a primer. I tried the Marshmallow Primer because it was huge on TikTok. I love it. It is definitely hydrating. On the days that I'm feeling like I need just a little bit more moisture, but I don't want anything like serum-y feeling, this is what I go into because it has a thicker formulation and it just blends beautiful. Everything that goes on top of it sits amazingly. I don't have super huge pores, but I do feel like it does demolish whatever pores I have and they aren't as visible. This with that Guerlain and my new Givenchy powder, chef's kiss. Pores, what? I look like a porcelain doll. Okay. That was a bit dramatic, but for real, I do. Okay, let's move into blushes. So I picked up the Hourglass Blush in Loyal, and I wasn't sure if I actually liked it because it's more of a matte formulation, but it's the only blush that I have in this formulation. All my other blushes that are cream are more on the dewy leaning side. This goes on matte. It's like a cream to powder formulation, I'm pretty sure. It goes on like a matter cream and it dries down beautifully. I love it. I would pick up more shades if I didn't have so many cream blushes in my collection. Is it one of my favorites? No, but I do feel like for what it is, it's beautiful, it's stunning. It just offers something to my collection that I don't have in any of my other cream products. And I just can't get over it. It's beautiful. I love this. This, I use it quite often. Quite often. Okay, let's talk about something that's newer to my collection. This is the Made by Mitchell Liquid Blushers. And I have a Shy Boy and Cherry Cola. And Cherry Cola. Shy Boy is more of a pinky. Cherry Cola has more of like that red bronze color to it. I love these. I even love their little bronzer color. I got the like contour-y shade, but I love them. They go on beautifully. I do recommend, so I sometimes will dot it on my face and it blends out fine, but I feel like with this formulation, you kind of need to put it on your back of your hand and then warm it up with your sponge before you go in on your face, because they are very pigmented and a little goes a long way, and you could go in way too quickly dotting it onto your face. So it's better to start on a palette, on your hand, and then work from there. But I still recommend it. I still love it. Can't say much more about it. Okay, the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpting Stick is what I think this is called. Yeah, Soft Sculpting Shaping Stick. Love it. Still been loving it. Continue to keep loving it. It's so dirty. I feel like I should have been like a perfect YouTuber and like cleaned it off, and I didn't. I just left it all dirty. But I do love this. I have been loving it. This is probably up there with my Fenty cream bronzer. I like it. It's like if the Huda Beauty and the Fenty had a baby, because this is very strong cream contour or cream bronzer, and the Fenty is more of like a light to buildable. This is like smack dab in the middle. It goes on and you're like, ooh, but then it blends out beautifully like the Fenty, if that makes sense. So this is like the happy medium. I love it. I still want to go pick up another one of my Fenty cream bronzers, but I'm trying to work through some of my cream products. Moving right along to the Huda Beauty. I know this has been out, the Tantour. It's been out for a while. Everybody and their mother talked about it, but I feel like everybody and their mother was raving about it. And although I do like it, I picked mine up in the shade Light. They run really dark. A little goes a long way, so this would last you a long time. But I just feel like it's, and I'm not a newbie to cream, but I just feel like this can go a little awry very quickly. but I still do recommend it if you are a cream bronzer person like me. I love cream products. Just tread lightly, make sure to go in light, and build as you need, because this can go very south quickly. Because you're like, oh, I only applied a little bit, and then you go to blend out that little bit and it's like your whole face is now bronze and you have to correct yourself. So love it. Just, it's a heed with caution kind of product, and I feel like everybody was raving about how amazing it is, and it is amazing. I just feel like nobody mentioned that it can go crazy quickly. Okay, moving right along to my Deck of Scarlet Mistake Proof Bronzer. I love this stuff. I do love this stuff. It is not one of my favorite products though, because although the product on the inside is beautiful, I just feel like it's, as you can see, it's just so messy. Because it sprays out everywhere. You can't really, it is pretty mistake proof, because if you continue to blend, it will blend out. But I feel like it's just such a mess. I don't know how to explain it. Like when you go to spray it on like your makeup palette, it goes everywhere on your desk. You can't spray it directly on your face because you're going to spray it into your hair. You can't spray it directly onto your brush or your beauty blender because again, it sprays out and it disperses, and then it goes a little bit everywhere, and it gets a little bit everywhere, and it's just a little messy. The product itself is beautiful. I love it. I really, 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 really love it. I just want it in a less messy distribution thing. That's my only gripe. Moving along to bronzers, because I have like 3 of them sitting here in front of me. Okay. So starting with the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. I know this looks like I haven't used it. I have used the bejesus out of this. However, this shade, I have used this. I've used a lot of this actually. I find that this is such a beautiful like bronzer. It just goes on seamlessly. However, again, it can get a little crazy pretty quickly because you don't realize how much you're picking up, because you look at it and you're like, I didn't even pick up that much on my brush. And then you go in and you're like, whoa, I picked up way too much with my brush. But it's beautiful. I love it. I still feel the same as I have every time I've used it. I love it. Charlotte Tilbury, her powders are beautiful. I love them. I feel like it's not as airbrushed as her setting powder, but I still feel like it's beautiful powder, and it is pretty easy to work with relatively. My thoughts haven't really changed as far as how easy and how beautiful the product is. Now moving along to Shantikai. I have their Real Bronzer. I'm so sad because the beautiful like embossing that was there is gone. This is like a gelée formula in a bronzer form, and I can't tell you how stunning this bronzer is. Okay, so this is the Shantikai bronzer in Real Bronze. It is such a stunning, it's right there on the top. It is such a stunning bronzer. It's a little bit deeper than this Charlotte Tilbury bronzer in the sense of like when you go in, it's more impactful. However, it gives such a beautiful sheen to the skin that just looks like your skin, but not better. Like it looks like you just stepped outside, got a tan, you're glowing, radiant. Just, oh, every time I wear this bronzer, I just feel like a glowing goddess. I don't know. It's stunning. I can't sing enough praises. At first, the first time I tried it, I was like, However, the more that I continue to use it, the more that I'm like, I love this stuff. Would repurchase, will repurchase, can't get enough of it. The Dior Backstage Contour Palette. It's been around for a while. when I purchased it, I was like, I only use these 3 shades. I haven't used this one. Well, now that we're back home and I'm out in the sun a little bit more, I've gotten more of a tan, and I feel like I dip into these 2 shades more so, and then I use these 2 to kind of just diffuse it onto the skin. I actually truly love this. They are highlighters. These are supposed to be highlighters. I just seen it on the back. I haven't been using it that way. So what I would do is I'll use this shade more so as like if I want to sculpt, like contour, and then I'll use this shade to just bronze a little bit. I'll use this shade to kind of blend and diffuse everything into the skin, and then I will use this shade to even further diffuse it. It's beautiful. I would definitely recommend it if you were looking. I feel like people sleep on Dior, but they've got some hitter products because this blends beautifully. However, again, the same as the Huda, this can go really bad, awry really quickly. Make sure to double check in natural lighting because it goes on so soft that in not well lit areas, you're like, oh, my face looks phenomenal. And then you step outside into really well lit areas and you're like, oh, I look like I had gotten a fight with my bronzer today. Trust me, I learned the hard way. But it's beautiful. Also, I don't recommend going in with a natural hairbrush with that because it picks it up a little too much. Oh God! I had to bribe them with a lollipop so that they would leave me alone so that I could film this. Okay. Y'all are gonna need a snack because we are about like 15 minutes in. We're probably about like 20-30 minutes in and I'm only on bronzers and there's quite a bit left. Anyways, so keeping with bronzers, this bronzer right here is very comparable to this bronzer, but it's a matte bronzer. Lightweight, goes on seamless, it's buildable, it's not overly pigmented. This contour shade is nice. I sometimes will chisel out my face, but it's very rare. I do chisel out my nose sometimes because I have a button nose, but sometimes I feel like with makeup, because it's not a distinct button, it gets like covered. So sometimes I will, you know, chisel it out a little bit. I do like this cream powder as like a touch-up. Sometimes if I went a little crazy, I'll use a little bit and blend it to diffuse where I went crazy. I think that this is beautiful. I don't know if it's still available, but if it is, I would definitely recommend it. There's 3 different tones in these. There's a light, this is the medium, and then they have a deeper one. I don't think it's the best shade range. I don't think everybody's going to find their perfect match, kind of like with the Patrick Ta. But I do feel like if you can find something that's similar to your skin, you won't dislike the charismatic contour palette from Kaleidos. I don't think you'll dislike it if you try it. Now, powder. This is the Sephora Micro Smooth Multitasking Bake Face Powder. So I picked this up because the Pat McGrath, I'll link that video down below. The Pat McGrath Under Eye Setting Powder is one of my favorite for all over the face. But there's such a little bit of product and you get so much kick up when you go to use that product that you're wasting half of it in the kick up and the other half of it goes on your face, but yet it's such a little bit that you're going to go through it so quickly. But I love it for my face, not just for my under eyes. Under my eyes I love it, but all over the face I love it. So I picked this up in hopes that it was similar and I could use it. This is similar. This is very similar to that product in the sense of it gives that slight luminosity. The Pat McGrath has more luminous to it. Again, I'll link that video down below. But I truly do love this product. It gives me what I was looking for. It's exactly what I was hoping as far as it being like a bigger jumbo product to the Pat McGrath. The only thing that I don't like about this product is the fact that I feel like my face gets a little oilier. I'm dry to normal, so like I don't tend to get oily, but I feel like with this product I feel like my face gets a little oily looking. throughout the day versus with the Pat McGrath, but I still love it, and it's nothing that blotting can't fix. I'm gonna need a sip of my coffee because my throat. If you're still here, you're a freaking trooper, because I know this is a long video. Are you snacking on stuff? Because if you're not, go grab a snack. We still got some stuff to work through. Okay, so blush. I now only have, I picked up 2 of these shades. I picked up this shade, and I can't think of the other shade, but it was like a rosy tone. I'll link that video down below. I don't feel like the formulas were the same. I felt like the rosier tone didn't diffuse my pores as were with this shade. This is Flirtatious. It does. It blurs my pores. So beautiful. It is such a beautiful blush. So as far as that, my thoughts have changed. I do truly love this. $38 for a blush is a little crazy, but again, I also have Tom Ford blush in my collection now, and I'm considering getting another one. So $38 isn't that crazy for me, but for other people, I mean, it's not gonna be life-changing. I have other blushes in my collection that are not as expensive that do blur the look of my pores while giving me the color that I want. Again, I didn't feel like the formulation was consistent from blush to blush because I got one of the deeper ones and it didn't really blur. I felt like it kind of accentuated the pores that I had on my face versus where this one does blur them a little bit. I do think it's beautiful. I do truly love this shade. I didn't think I liked it at first because I was like, it's a little too light. I don't think it's a little too light. I just feel like it's a buildable formula, which is why it goes on a little bit lighter. And the darker shade, I ended up passing along to my mother because she has a beautiful dark, she's more of the tan to deep spectrum. So my mom, it looked beautiful on her. But I didn't personally like the darker shade. I liked the color on me, but I felt like the formulation accentuated like the pores that I do have, and it just was a little too matte. And at first I thought I liked it, but I didn't. So as far as that, my thoughts have changed because I didn't think that I thought that I was gonna like the deeper shade more, and I didn't think I was gonna like this one, but I ended up, it was vice versa. I still feel like it's not worth the $38, but then again, there's another part of me that's like, well, it might, like, some of the shades might be as far as because of the blurring, but I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. My thoughts kind of have changed because I still love, I now like the product. At first I was like, you don't need it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the money. I don't think that it's the greatest thing out there. Now I'm like, I do truly love this. I feel like it blurs my pores. The shade is beautiful. It goes with everything. But I'm just kind of on the fence. I'm kind of on the fence because I'm like, I really do like it, but I have other things in my collection that blur. You know, like, so. Okay. So I also picked up the highlighter in that collection. I do feel like this is a beautiful highlighter. I don't think that my feelings have... I love Pat McGrath's formulation. And this has to be one of my favorite highlighters from her. However, I do not think that it is worth the money. I think that there are things that are out there that are even better, if not the same. I'm keeping it in a little box because purple's my favorite color in case you didn't know, but now you know. A little too much. Anyway, I think it's a beautiful highlighter. It's right here. I think it's a beautiful highlighter. I just don't feel like it's worth the money. I don't. I feel like for the money you can get something equally as good, if not better. Your pal again with highlighters. This is the Huda Beauty highlighter palette. At first I was like, that's a little weird. She put her face on here. But you know, the more that I think about it, I'm like, if I had my own makeup products, I'd put my face on them. Because I think I'm pretty. And I think she's pretty. I think she's beautiful. So I don't think it's cringy. As cringy as the first thought. But anyway. I got the shade Light. I really like this palette. However, there's one shade in here that I really truly cannot use, and that is this light shade right here. I can't use this. I should have gotten the medium, but I was like, it's gonna be too deep on me. No. But the rest of the shades, I can use them. These two shades, drink some water or sip on your coffee every time I say but these two shades, I like to use them as like a bronzer topper. The more that I've gotten, since I've been home and I've gotten tanner, it no longer is a bronzer topper, it's more of a highlight. Same thing with this blush. It's still pink enough that I can use it as a blush topper, which I like to do, just to add a little sheen to my blush, because I feel like we all have a natural like glow to our skin, so I like to kind of keep that, you know, glow on my face. The Cosos Airbrow, I love this. I'm literally almost out of this. It's one of my favorites. This in conjunction with the Huda Beauty Bomb Brow, because I have pretty thick brows. There's only some really like minimal sparse areas, so I'll run this through and then go in with the Huda Bomb Brow and fill those spots in. And my brows are those like floofy brows. Cute, adorable, love them. We're almost through. Okay, so these are the Odin's Eye Diversa collection palettes. My thoughts have not changed. Still one of my shockingly, it's one of my most reached for palettes. This is the Red Dragon palette. It's my most used. Yes. And then we have the Hummingbird palette. This is my second used. Of course, it's beautiful colors. I'm a colorful person. I love colorful shadows. Recently, though, going into these like winter months, I feel like I've kind of started to like gear towards natural shadows, like one shadow done kind of looks. The Giant Wolves palette. These shimmers in here are some of my favorite. Okay, so this Giant Wolves palette, love it. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. It's pretty being banged up. These shimmers are so beautiful. I don't have anything like this in my collection. The same with this palette. I still feel the same. I feel like these are all so unique, so beautiful. They just add something into your collection that you're not gonna see from any other palettes. Odin's Eye just nails their shimmers, and their mattes are so stinking stunning in this collection. Okay, so the Colourpop Limoncello palette is no longer the Limoncello palette, as you can see. I still have this shade from the Limoncello palette. However, the rest of these shades are the Sydney Grace Temptalia palette and On the Horizon. I depotted those because the palette was kind of longer, and I just kind of stuck them in here because this is more of a compact palette, and then I took the shades from in here and stuck them in that palette. Although the Limoncello was one of my favorite for summer, I just felt like I had the same colors in so many of my other palettes that it wasn't quite necessary to keep it the palette itself. However, the Sydney Grace and Temptalia palette from On the Horizon was so unique to my collection, and I didn't have these colors anywhere else in my collection, so I went ahead and kept them. The only one I didn't keep was the silver. I believe that was like dog something. I didn't keep that shade because I just didn't reach for it. I didn't gravitate towards it, and I didn't want it to go bad. So I again passed it along to a friend. These are the last two makeup products that I have to discuss. These are from Alien Cosmetics. They are now called Unearthly Cosmetics due to needing to change their name. I don't think she came out with like a reasoning behind it. She just said that she had to change her name. This is the Capricorn palette. Still one of my favorite matte palettes with all these beautiful colors. The mattes work beautiful in here. There's some outstanding colors. My thoughts are still the same. I truly love that palette. This is the Strawberry Milkshake palette. I love everything in here. This yellow shade though is a bit chalky. I feel like the more that I've used it, it's gotten a little less on the chalky, but there's still a chalky, like the rest of these are pretty. This is another chalky one. These three shades are more gritty feeling when you swatch them. When you go to use them, however, they have color payoff, a pretty decent color payoff too. This yellow though, you have to continue to build and build and build, because I feel like it just doesn't give you what you see in pan. But over time it has gotten a little bit better. The best shimmer out of this whole palette is this little lilac-y purple shade. Stunning. It's probably the best swatched and on the eye, but all of the shades are beautiful. They all add something to my collection that I don't quite have anywhere else. And I'm sorry, but Unearthly Cosmetics does packaging so well. Like, how cute is she? And then I don't know if YouTube will allow it, but she's cute too with her cha-chas hanging out. Okay, and we are on the last product. Again, if you have made it this far, thank you for staying with me through this. I'm so happy to have you here. Drop some comments down below. Have you tested any of these products? What are your thoughts? Are your thoughts the same as mine? Now, the last products are two face oils, so I'm just gonna bunch them together. This is the Super Berry Hydrating Glow Dream Oil from You to the People. One of my favorites. This is my second bottle. I use this all the time when my skin is feeling dry and I have a moisturizer that's not quite hydrating enough, because I feel like it says it's an oil, but I don't feel like it leaves the oily residue on my skin. I feel like it seeps in, my skin just drinks it up, and it leaves my skin feeling so much more hydrated and so much more beautiful. However, I tend to use this more at nighttime because it is a little bit heavier than the next oil that we're going to talk about. It is a little bit heavier than the next oil that we're going to talk about, but it's still a beautiful oil. I don't notice any irritation. I don't notice that it's too, like, sometimes with face oils it can cause like acne. I haven't noticed that. It's really good for, I use it when I get like a little bit of sunburn, knocks it out. I use it when my hands are feeling a little dry and cracky. I'll just take like a one dropper and I'll just drop it in and I'll rub it where I need it. I use it all over my body, my hands, my face, my décolletage when I want a little bit of a glow. It's a beautiful oil, and it's not too thick. As you can see, I just put it on my hands and it's basically already going to absorb. It's going to be absorbed. I'm not going to have to worry about it. I'm not going to have that greasy feel on my hands, which is something that I can't stand, when an oil leaves that greasy film. Thank you. Here, wipe your hands. It's not going to leave that oily residue that some oils will. Like, some will leave a greasy film, and I don't like that. This one does not leave a greasy film. The next oil that I have is the 100 milligram CBD emerald oil from Herbivore. I love this more during the daytime. Yeah, I love this oil more during the daytime because I feel like it sinks in quicker and it doesn't leave a film. It's nice. It hydrates my skin. As you can see, I've used quite a bit of this. Both of these oils, I only need about... Ooh, stop. Both of these oils, I only need about 1 or 2 drops for my face. This one, I feel like this is better for sensitive skinned people. This one it has a scent to it, so it may or may not. I feel like this oil may irritate the skin because it does have a slight scent to it. But if you are sensitive to CBD, I would definitely steer clear, because it does have like a, I don't know how to explain it. CBD has like this scent, and it definitely has a CBD scent to this. But as far as like on the skin, this wears beautifully. I feel like if I have a little bit of redness and I put this on, it kind of like tones it down. It helps my sensitive skin to be like, to feel better. I don't know, I'm having a hard time thinking of words because my children are touching everything. But I feel like these are so beautiful. This one's a deep moisturizing glow oil. I definitely think that it gets deep in there, moisturizes my skin. I think it tones down any redness, any irritation. It kind of just helps it to subside and kind of settle. This oil is more of my like, I need a heavier duty oil. I need it to set and then kind of like sink into the skin slowly throughout the day without causing any irritation. It does have a slight fragrance, but I feel like the fragrance, I know it's not actual fragrance. I feel like the fragrance in here is due to the ingredients, but that could play a part in someone's skin. I don't know, you'd have to test it out. I know they give out little samples. Again, they give out little samples of this, but these two are highly recommended. They are in my arsenal of skincare for the time being, unless my skin changes substantially. Those are in my arsenal. And that completes today's video. This is like my roundup of like, have my thoughts changed? Here's what my thoughts are right now. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll probably do one of these in another couple of months when I have used all of my newer products a couple more times, or not a couple, but multiple times, and I will update you. With that being said, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Leave some comments down below. If you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and then hit that bell notification so that you can be notified every time I upload. I upload 3 videos a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I would love to have you join my little family. And with that being said, I shall catch you in the next one. Bye.